Good morning. I have been slaving away adding gray tones to my comic. So I thought today we talk a little bit about how I color my comic book, the tools I use. I'll show you a little sneak peek at that introduction I want to get into people's hands within the next couple of days. And what can I say about that? But like most things, the way I start off is like, oh, I'll just do this in this time limit. And every time I set myself a time limit, either something comes up or I just break the rule at the first page. I'm very happy with how the first two pages, which I pretty much got done Friday night till 3:30 in the morning. I'm pretty happy how they came out. Painterly effects I'm not fond of. I'm having a lot of fun adding these gray tones because it really makes the comic, like, all of a sudden I'm like, oh my god, it's like, you know, it's a thing. Like, it's, as my host, my flatmate was saying, like, it's starting to look professional. Just catching up on some off panel on my run. I haven't run for I think 4 days now, and I'm surprised that after all this sitting down and working on my comic book, I'm doing pretty good. I almost feel like I'm doing better than I normally do. Am I gonna miss this green light? No, I'm not. So off panel, Skottie Young, I Hate Fairyland, opens up with, I wake up, I get to play pretend for a living. And it's just a quote I wanted to share with you. I get to play pretend for a living because I think it's definitely something I've been enjoying for the past month. Playing pretend and making it happen. Still haven't been to that design museum over there. Gonna have to check that out. Also discovered a library on my run. Gonna have to check that out today as well, just to get out of the house. So a couple of days ago, I showed you how to program the radial menu on the inside of the rocker ring on the Cintiq. So let me show you how I've been putting this to good use. As the batteries for my keyboard need to be recharged. Oh. It is like this. I can never remember which way they go up. The green light comes on. Where were we? I've actually been having a go at painting one of my pages using only the buttons available to me here and of course a toolbar. What I find really handy is having the spacebar button right here so I can move things around very quickly. I like making selections with the marquee. Me is the top button and the lasso tool, which I have in the radial menu. So it's always underneath my wherever I'm holding the pen. For these two buttons, these are the pluses and minuses, if you will, for adding or subtracting from your selection. So it's the shift key or the option key. So what I've done right now is selecting the parts of the page that are not in panels and that are going to be all white because they're indoors and there's lots of light, unlike the previous pages which were outside. So to show that they're in the dark, I dropped the color of the actual page. So let's go back to that page for a second. As you can see, I'm adding a little gray tone and it's starting to look cool. I want to keep it simple. I've been on this for about 40 minutes now. If this podcast is anything to go by. So let's go. It's just my regular inking pen. It's set to about 40% opacity, so I get to go in there and add a little bit more. But that's about it, really. It's a lot of work, this comic book. So the thing I wanted to bring up today is I am now on page 3, and I'm looking at page 3, and I can't help but notice, but there's 8 characters being introduced. Being familiar with these characters and having picked their names and having developed their backstories and whatnot in my initial 100 days of comics run, which, if you're new to the channel, it's a 100-day challenge in which you find half an hour to an hour a day to work on your own personal comic book project. It all started with Monkey Mouth creator Kevin Cross. You should go check him out and find out more if you want to join us, that is. All of a sudden, I remember And this might be because I was looking again, as always, at some Arthur Adams art. I remember these X-Men comics in which they would simply put little blurbs with characters' names in them, and how helpful that would be. And it's a little bit too on the nose. But then we have to keep in mind that I've been with these characters for a long time, and the reader, you, in just a few more days, is completely new to them. They don't know their names, and like something as simple as knowing their names might be very helpful. So, but at the same time, I just can't help but think that there's simply not enough space. I've already crammed in way too much dialogue as it is. Proper introductions. Yes or no? Could be even on the inside of the comic book, with like little profile pics. Something to think about. So that'll be my question for today. What do you think? As always, thank you for watching this video. If you like what you see, hit like, press subscribe, stay up to date. There's more coming. It's a daily vlog. Every day I work on my comic book. I'm living in Barcelona, this week trying to find a job after a month and a half of being here. Bliss. Why does it have to come to an end? Why does money have to disappear? Like water running through your fingers. Oh, why? I hope you guys enjoyed my new format. I'm certainly having fun, like cramming as much as I can in 5 minutes. Today we are going over a little bit. You know, it's not gonna happen every time. Oh, we're hitting 7 minutes. Gotta go, sorry. See you tomorrow.